All right, everyone. Welcome back. Another week, another episode of the Throne Bros. I am your host, Nando, with also here the Three Eye Raven. What's up?
Three-Eye Raven in the building. What's
He's
going
here.
on, world? We're
He's
back,
here.
episode 5. Shout out to all the supporters, the Game of Throners, Hedge Knighters, House of Dragoners. You know the deal. Shout out to you guys.
All of you. All of you, if you've claimed the house, Westerosians. So yeah, we're back. We're back, episode 5. This little journey's coming to an end for now, but we gotta wait another year. But we're not gonna rush it. We're gonna talk about episode 5, titled "In the Name of the Mother." So uh, obviously, as we know, coming in, there is a battle pending that we had just set up for in last episode by Sir Duncan coming up with his 7, and we have a trial by 7 here that is about to start. Right off the bat, the episode starts with Sir Duncan and his 6 other men just rounded around uh what's his name? Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
And he's kind of giving them like the rundown, like stay together or whatever,
Stay on the
love.
horse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay on your horse. So he's giving them, the kind of he's taking the team lead here. Um he said he makes a comment about, you know, well, funny part, a couple of the guys throw up. Duncan being one of
Yeah.
them. And then, there's a little bit of laughter with it. Um I forget what the comment is made. I didn't write it down, but Baratheon makes a comment to Baylor about because Baylor says like the Kingsguard won't strike him. Like, you know what I mean? I guess.
Yeah, so basically, right, while he's giving them advice, he tells them, yo, I'll take care of the Kingsguard because they took a vow. They're not gonna mess
Yeah.
with me. And Lionel says, "Oh, you must have had your mother's love growing up, because there's nothing like a fighter that was neglected by his mother." It was something along those lines.
Yeah. So that was a little
But
thing.
something I wanna mention that they didn't show in the show, but it does happen in the book. Um, so Raymond, right? The House Fossaway, their sigil is just a red apple, right?
Yes.
So before the fight in the book, Raymond changes his sigil to a green apple, right? And like while they're throwing up, one of the Humphreys tells them like, "Oh, green boys," right? Basically call them rookies, right? So that's why painted he changed the apple to green instead of red, because he's like, "Yo, I'm not fucking with Stefan."
Yeah.
So he changed his sigil up.
Yeah. And those were the two people that throwing up. It was Raymond and Duncan, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
before the first battle, little nerves there. So, you know, after a little banter, a little talk between, Baylor, all that, talking strategy, they get lined up, obviously. And obviously they go immediately to Sir Duncan's point of POV, which is pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, to the helmet.
Everybody goes, and Sir Duncan's just there. Partly it's his horse, but you hear Egg, telling the horse to go as we go back to episode 2, I think it was, where he was training the horse. Don't.
Training them, yeah. But one thing I want to mention, right now that you mentioned episode 2, right? Before they get lined up,
Yes.
Dunk tells Egg like, "Hey, you better not rob me, or I'm gonna confine you with dogs." Like he
Yeah.
mentioned in the what was it? Episode 1, episode
It might
2?
have been episode 1 or 2. One of the yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty cool. They brought
Yes.
that back up.
I almost skipped over that, and obviously Egg replies with a wolf.
Yeah.
Like, so, which he did in episode 1, I think. Oh, Duncan barked at him, I think, or
Yeah.
whatever. And then, but it shows their, still their relationship. So everybody goes. Duncan takes a second. And then his horse goes. We get into POV mode, which is pretty cool the way they shot that. And he's lined up with, or I don't even know if there was lined up, but it just kind of went free for all for each, or he went for him. But he's lined up with Arian, and Arian puts a the thing right in
Yeah,
his
right through.
midsection
Yep.
right off the bat, like breaks his little javelin. I don't even know what it's called. We went over this at
I
the
think it's
beginning.
called Lance.
Hey, his lance breaks his
Yeah.
lance in half. He kind of, as he does his little go to do his little turnaround. They both do the turnaround. So Duncan's trying to take that like part of it out. I mean, he does take it out. Um, Arian kind of lets his just fall, lets his go and goes to his secondary weapon, which is the little like ball and spike ball, whatever thing that he like wields around.
I think it might be called the mace.
Yeah,
I could be
probably.
wrong.
Yeah. And then he goes and he strikes Sir Duncan again. So like it's not looking good, you know what I'm saying, for Duncan like to start. You know what I'm saying? It is his first battle. It's not a typical, I mean, I guess it is a typical battle for knights, you know what I mean? Not every battle, I mean, not every competition, has to do with like fighting with swords, obviously it has to do.
Yeah.
That back then was like stuff like this. But they go, Sir Duncan ends up on the ground, and then we go to a flashback,
Yeah.
which I like the flashback, but I want you to, I mean, you could probably, I don't know if you what you got out of it, of the flashback. Like, why do you think that flashback was there?
So this is something that they added in the show. They
Yeah.
don't show this flashback in the book. So I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. They're just trying to add to the story. Since the story is pretty short, but basically, I think they were just trying to show how the connection with Sir Arlen and Duncan came about, right? So we go to Flea Bottom. We see a young Dunk, and right off the bat, right, they go to a battlefield, right? So this was the end of the Blackfire Rebellion. What's it called? Baylor's dad was fighting his brother.
Damon was rebelling, right? His brother was Damon, I think.
Uh, I think his name was Darren.
Darren. Okay, Darren's rebelling. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it was Darren fighting against Eamon. Eamon was the bastard brother, right?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
won?
You went over it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the one that wanted to claim for the throne, and yeah. So that was like the Blackfire Rebellion, and they were sitting there. It was Dunk and his friend Rafe. They were collecting, I guess, just like scrap metal, trying to find whatever just to get some money. And so we find out that they're selling the scrap or whatever. They're trying to save up money to go to the free cities. They're trying to get out of King's Landing. They're trying to get out of Flea Bottom. They're trying to get out of there, right? So, well, one thing that they also like mentioned in this part is like Dunk wants to like, well, he's kind of hesitant about going to the free cities because he wants to wait for his mom. He has like hope that she's gonna show up and come find him.
Even though
But
she's dead, which is like,
yeah, so yeah, she's probably dead or just doesn't care, you know. But and that's what Rafe tries to tell him. Like, listen, I'm got nowhere just waiting around. Like, if you want a family, go start your own family. Like, go find one. So right, they get some money. They go to I guess like the captain of the ship who's gonna sail them over, and he tells them like, hey, the price went up. Like, you guys don't have enough money.
yeah,
So Rafe is kind of mad and tells Dunk like, oh, I bet you're happy because now you could wait for your mom, your dead mom, whatever.
yeah,
But some shit goes down in this part. There was some asshole. His name is you know, oh, what is his name? His name is Lester.
Was this part in the book or is this?
No, no, the whole flashback wasn't part
Yeah,
of the book.
yeah, you did
Yeah.
say that. Yeah.
So this is just something they just made up. Yeah, yeah. So this guy Lester, right? With one-handed Lester. He was kind of messing with them. Like I guess he messes with other people as well, right?
Picking on people he can get over on.
Yeah. So basically, he finds them and he's kind of mad because earlier, Rafe stole
Is
his ale.
ale.
Yeah, stole his ale. So he's kind of pissed off, right? Catches him. Um, they steal the money and Rafe steals his knife. So once Lester realizes that she stole his knife, he goes after her, grabs her, takes the knife, hit her with the one time, right? Slits her throat, right? So Dunk gets mad, jumps on Lester, starts fighting him, right? Starts biting him. I think he bit him in the neck or something. Um, and he gets thrown. Lester throws him down, and whoever
Stab.
Lester was, what?
Lester, he tells his friend to stab him basically, like basically he
Yeah,
stabbed him with on the foot, on the leg.
yeah, stabs him like in the calf,
Yeah.
uh, and yeah. So Dunk's like on the floor. He just got stabbed in the foot. Next thing you know, Sir Arlen pops up, just comes out the door. I don't know if that was like some type of whorehouse or bar,
Yeah.
but so so Arlen just pops out and he starts going crazy. he grabs his knife, I mean his sword, cuts homie's head off, Lester's homie, cuts his head off smooth. Then he starts getting into like a tussle with Lester. Eventually he grabs his knife, stabs Lester, kills Lester, right? Protected Dunk. And Dunk, he like I guess he was like amazed, by like how Sir Arlen just, you know, took care of both of them. And the next morning he like saw him like leaving. So Dunk decided to like follow him. So Dunk followed him, I guess for like a few days. But one part that I really like when he was following him, like that first I think it might have been like the first night, uh Sir Arlen was like passed out and Dunk started like playing with his stuff,
Yeah.
kind of
It was
how
like,
like Egg was playing with Dunk's stuff like
yeah.
in the first episode. So I thought that one was pretty cool. But yeah, Dunk followed him for a few days, and boy, Sir Arlen's a drunk boy.
Yeah. And then this is the part. This gets to obviously he follows him. This gets to the part where like another night is when Sir Arlen's a drunk that you're talking about, and this goes down to the part that we were discussing a little bit that I didn't really like catch or pay attention to the first time I watched, which
Mhm.
is this one drunk night. He's just doing just shouting things, and what he's shouting is Dafraki, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's speaking like I guess he's like singing a song in
Yeah,
Dothraki, so which is pretty cool, because like the only way like you would know Dothraki is if you probably spent time out there in Vice Dharak. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, so Sir Arlen must have been overseas at some point, right? And that's how he learned Dothraki, which is kind of cool. He kind of reminds me of like Ser Jorah in the Game of Thrones. Ser
yeah,
Jorah knew Dothraki. I guess Ser Jorah was hanging out and learned the language. So I thought that was pretty cool, like him knowing Dothraki. Maybe they might go into it in the next season or in the next episode, just to add some background. But yeah, yeah. Sir Arlen knows Dothraki. But but yeah. So Dunk follows him for a few days. He's sleeping out in the cold. He's drinking from dirty ass puddles of water and shit. Like, and then finally, like one day, Sir Arlen's like mounting his horse, getting ready to walk. I mean, go wherever he was going, and he sees Dunk come around the corner, like I guess from like a hill or something, and Dunk passes out. Well, well, he just kind of collapses. I don't think he passes out. But Sir Arlen walks up to him. I guess he like offers him his water, or I don't know if it might have been ale, knowing Sir Arlen. And yeah, this cool part right here. He tells Dunk, "Get up." So once he tells him to get up, we get we get right back to the fight.
Right back in the fight. Right back in the fight we go. Duncan's got, a wound in his midsection. He's got a wound. I mean, well, he's got like a dented face mask, so he's got a like already a swollen from the metal hitting his eye. Um, he wakes up and Arian swinging that device that we gave the name to,
The
um,
mace, yeah,
the mace. Kind of hits him again a little bit. Um, as he's trying to like get himself together, get up. Somebody else on a horse hits him. He's down again.
yep,
Arian goes after him, like he's kind of dodging him a little bit. They end up in a tussle on the
yeah,
ground
mm,
where he ends up on top of Arian for a little bit. Um, but Arian stabs him again, and like the
yeah.
other side, another side in the midsection. Or was it no? Was it
And it was like the
upper
thigh, I
thigh?
think.
Yeah, upper thigh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
but I think he stabs him twice,
Yeah, he
like the
did.
first time, and then like goes at him again.
So after that, he's able to flip him over, so he gains the advantage. He's on top of Sir Duncan, and he tries to go for like an upper stab, and like Duncan stops it with his hand. So right now we got like three known injury or four known injuries actually. You know, the face, the hand, we got the thigh, the midsection,
Yeah,
and as like he's fighting he's fighting Arian holding the knife. Some other rider comes up and just like knocks Arian off, which gives Duncan a little bit of time to like get up and try to get some
yeah,
separation, get away. And
yeah,
then Arian gets up and kind of like gives him a poke in the back with the sword. So we got another, injury.
mhm,
Um, so Sir Duncan kind of fights back, and there's a cool part that happened. I thought it was cool because they're up and they're trying to do like a quick sword fight or just the fight in general one on one while up. Uh, Duncan has a sword, and there's a cool part where one of the ladies of the night from the first episode that kind of laughs at them, kind of from the crowd, just cheers like "Come on," I think, or something like that. I forget what
yeah,
she said, but she's
yeah.
the only one like cheering, so she gets like looked at, like, and she stood up when she cheered. She's looked at in her section. She just sits back down, but it's just kind of like a cool like back where this was somebody that like
Yeah,
in a way made fun of him. Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Cheering for the underdog.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now she's seeing him in action. She was cheering for him. Um, During this little sword fight, uh, Arian's got the advantage. He's getting shots in. You know what I mean, on Sir Duncan. Couple more wounds, couple more stabs. At
Yeah,
one point he just throws his sword and it lands in
yeah. I was like, what the
and
fuck?
it just stabs her Duncan right in the thigh,
Yeah,
or inner thigh this time of the other leg. So Sir Duncan is all discombobulated. He tries to he gets Sir Duncan in a place of advantage a little bit, and kind of tries to stab him through like his seeing hole.
yeah.
It doesn't make any contact, but like almost got close.
Hmm.
Um, Sir Duncan gets knocked down to get a little separation, and then uh they get a little separation, then they start fighting again. And this is where Sir Duncan kind of hits his, I guess, his best blow to it. Arian. He gets a. We're not sure if it was his upper thigh or if it might have been his manhood. They got.
Nah, I think it was like, kind of like, I mean, it was close, but I think it was still like thigh, like kind of like,
Yeah.
the
So this
lower.
gets Arian like checking, discombobulated. He kind of falls to the ground. Do we get a quick shot of his dad Makar running over to try to help because he saw it happen. He's worried. He's not even fighting. He's fighting. He's worried about his son.
Yeah. So well, like this part right here, right? So obviously, Arian's his son, right? But we see like we kind of see how protective he is, knowing Arian how he is, but his pops still being his pops. He he tries to run over there to protect him. He stabs Lionel's horse,
Yeah.
knocks Lionel off his horse, but he gets stopped by the Kingsguard. They stop him. They hold him back.
Was it the Kingsguard?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
because
They weren't wearing white, so I mean, I
well,
mean,
they were in the mud, so I don't
yeah,
know.
it's true. Yeah, they hold him back, one on each arm. But at this time, both of them have separated. Obviously, Arya has fallen to the ground, like I said, and then Duncan's also kind of separated. He's discombobulated. He's got so many injuries. He's kind of like lost in the sauce. Honestly, no, I just rewinded back. I think it was Lionel and It looks like it was Lionel and
That hold him back.
Yeah, it was Lionel because I see the
And
broken
Baylor.
and Baylor
Okay.
hold him back. Um, Duncan's discombobulated. Aaron's on the ground. Duncan falls to the ground like on a sitting position. He's kind of sitting. They kind of do his point of view, and all you could hear is that like discombobulated like sound, like what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's bleeding,
Arians. Yeah.
bleeding from the mouth. You hear Egg in the crowd tell him to get up. Um, Arian still lifts up his mask and is telling him to yield. He's telling Sir Duncan to yield. Duncan's not responding to anything. He's just it looks like he's just trying to catch his breath. He doesn't, what I mean, like or do something. He ends up eventually collapsing to the ground, like just not
Yeah.
collapsing. He was already sitting, but just like
He,
the rest
yeah.
of
He
his
passes out pretty much.
passes out basically, and Arian goes like, as he asks him to yield, Arian says he's dead.
Yeah, tries to get Lord Ashford, tell him like,
To
yo, he's
call
dead.
the
Call it
call.
off.
Yeah. So this whole time, Egg's like, get up, get up, get up, Sir Duncan, get up. He's just telling him he's the only one, obviously, that is voicing, like
Yeah.
a cheer for Sir Duncan. Obviously, he's a squire, but he's telling him like, get up, and then once again, it goes back to what you were saying. The same way we came back to this battle from the flashback, Duncan gets a flashback as he's down on the ground of Sir Arlen saying, "Get up again,"
Yeah.
and right after Egg saying "Get up," gets up. He rises up. You hear Egg yell like "Wait" or "Stop." It's and they stop because the person who was about to blow the horn on this was getting ready to to do that,
Yeah.
and he just says "Stop." He yells "Stop" right as the flashback comes, and Sir Duncan like he's he says "Wait." That's what Egg yells because he
Yeah.
sees like his eyes move, and then like Arian wasn't looking at Sir Duncan; he was looking at like them where they were gonna make the decision.
Mm.
He starts to climb up. Um, he finally gets up, and he just kind of gets like this last minute like surge of
Yeah.
whatever he has left in him right now of you know, and the crowd gets behind him a little bit. They do show the crowd cheering. They get behind him, and he gives like one last push, and basically gains the advantage on Arian. Starts punching him. You know.
Yeah, he knocks him down.
Yep.
Starts hitting him with the shield,
Yep.
punching him,
And then
basically.
and then Arian yields. Aaron yields, and then Sir Duncan basically is telling him, tell them,
So before he yields, right? Duncan takes a look around, right? And he sees Makar fighting Baylor and fighting Lionel, right? When we see a big blow, Makar hits Baylor, during this little like switch to the scene, right? They don't really show too much of it, but they go back to Dunk, he starts dragging Arian, and that's when he takes him like closer to Lord Ashford and uh tells him to Dunk's telling him like, yo, you like tell him what's up.
And then he says, I basically I I take away my claims, basically, is what he says. Like I recount, you know, I take away my accusations.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there we go.
So
So
that ends the fight, you know?
Duncan's pronounced the winner. He's kind of like doesn't have an energy. Kind of think he falls to like his knees. We get we get our friend the welder goes to pick him up with Raymond, right? Raymond and the welder pick him up.
Yeah.
We don't see Raymond a lot in the battle besides the beginning. Just a heads up.
No,
We
actually, what's it called? What's it called goes and gets him.
oh
Egg goes and gets him first,
okay yeah
and Raymond helps.
yeah
So they drag him like outside.
yeah. Drag him in outside, but it's kind of like a tunnel. It's like under where the seats are, like the
Yeah.
little gate,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they're
And
looking at
then
his injuries.
and that's when what's it called pops in. Steely Pate, the blacksmith. He comes in there and he's like, "Yo, we could pour some hot oil on it like the
Yeah,
Macers do." Right? And Baylor pops in and he's like, "Nah, don't pour hot oil. That's gonna kill him. You gotta do wine, boiling wine."
yeah. So they're talking to him as Baylor says that. Obviously, we hear Duncan said, "I'm yours," basically saying like,
Yeah, he took a knee in
"Yep."
front of Baylor and basically like pledged to him, like pretty much.
And he, Baylor replies, he's like, we need good men." Like, does he say good men? Is that what he
Yeah,
had?
yeah, he's a good man.
He said the realm needs good men. So
Mhm.
like, um, that's a cool moment. And then we go to a very, um, I don't know if it's sad because we didn't really get to know, but it's a shocking moment for some.
Yeah.
As you
Mhm.
alluded, there was a blow that was shown briefly towards the end of that battle between brothers. And once Duncan does the knee and he tells him like, we need people, uh, Baylor starts saying, I can't feel my hands, like, and like my helmet's pretty tight because it got like bashed in, basically. He said it a different way, but that's basically what he was saying. Um, I'm gonna need assistance getting it off, you know. So Raymond's looking. He asks my man Pete,
Pate.
Pate, yeah, my man
Yeah.
Pate, and he kind of, he's a little stronger. He's a welder, so he's kind of like it gets it to like separate a little bit, and he takes it off. He's behind them, behind Baylor, and you could already see his face. And then he's kind of stumbles. Raymond looks as well behind, and he sees the same thing that Pate saw. He turns around to look at them, and that's when Duncan and Egg are able to see as well. He's missing like a chunk of his head.
Yeah.
So it got bashed in, obviously because it was on a helmet. You know what I mean? Or it was just so bashed in that when they took off the helmet, it came off as well. But we
Yeah.
don't see the helmet.
I think that's
Uh,
might have been it. Like I think he got hit so hard that it kind of like the helmet pierced like the back of his head, and then when they
yeah.
took it off, like it kind of came off like with with the helm.
So as he turns around to Pate and Raymond, he falls. He has a second to look at them and kind of make eye contact with them and realize, what he felt behind his head and what they saw. And then he falls, and he falls like Duncan tries to catch him in the floor, which is there's a lot of symbolism there because of what Egg's other brother said with the visions. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
so
Yeah, we go back to the dream,
we'll go
right?
back to the dream. Yes,
He said, there's gonna be a big dragon laying over Dunk, right?
yes,
The dragon's gonna be dead. Dunk's gonna be alive. right? So basically, when Baylor falls, Dunk catches him, right? And Baylor is on top of him for like a few seconds before Dunk like gets
He
over
is,
him.
and yes, he is a Targaryen. He is a dragon.
Yeah, and he
He
was like he was,
the
you know,
next
he
in
was
line, so he's
yeah,
a big.
and he was somebody that the people love. Like, he was, he was the people's champ, I guess. Like a lot of people really really messed with Baylor. So
Yeah,
that's why,
they're looking forward to.
yeah. So that was the significance of the big dragon, right? Like, the
Yes.
dragon, I forget how he explained it, but the dragon was as wide as the field or whatever. Like, so that's basically like Baylor's like presence. Like
Yeah.
it's like a big figure.
Yep. So that's the vision coming true. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, we talked off air. We don't know if like next episode there's gonna be like a reaction to this or anything like that, or if they're even gonna go into it. Obviously, when the realm learns of it, they'll be sad. Obviously, like you just said, he's very popular. People were looking forward to when he got on the throne. Obviously,
Yeah.
um, but this is something else that I guess you could say changed how the Targaryen dynasty went too, as
Yeah.
well,
The
because
trajectory. Yeah.
yes. So because a lot of people liked him. If he would have been on the throne for as many years as he could have, we might have had it. We might have not had what ended up being. A lot of these mad Targaryen kings that were on the throne that have been there before, but he
Mhm.
was like the one that I guess part of his charm was and his likeness was people looking forward to that too. Where he might be what they needed because it hadn't been like that in a while.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, there you go. But I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, with this, like going back to the whole Maykar thing, right? Like I said, like we see how Maykar was really trying to protect like Aryan like during this fight. And well, I mean, Maykar was the one that hit the blow uh on Baylor, right? And not like realizing, like, because he was just so like caught up trying to save Aryan, he didn't like realize how hard like he smacked him. So I mean, so we might see that next episode. Like you said, they might bring it up. They might point fingers at Dunk for the whole thing. But yeah, next episode should be a cool episode. This episode was pretty intense.
yes, it was pretty well done. I like like I said, the whole POV. I like that. I'm looking forward to how they end it, how they leave us hanging for till next season, till next year. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I think there's a rumor that I don't know if it's this weekend or sometime this week they're gonna release a teaser for the House of Dragon. So for the Westerosians, the House of Dragoners, so we might bring that up a little bit next time if it does come. I saw something that online that there might be a teaser coming up
Mm.
in the next couple days. Possibly Sunday we'll get that with the ending of this season of A Night of the Kingdoms, and they'll leave a tease for, I believe it'll be June. So like,
What, the House of Dragon?
yeah, so it'll be 4 months from the ending of this. So
Yeah,
maybe a little less because it might be beginning of June. This will end next week, which will be at the end of February. So not next week, but in a couple of days. Obviously, this is coming out
yeah,
on Thursday. So, but yeah, I mean, look, really well done. Another battle that they kind of do really well on. They took a different perspective on this one with the POV and stuff because the other battles were like they weren't like this. This was like I guess you could say like a competition somewhat battle. It wasn't like a war battle. So
mm,
it's just a little different than that. But I liked it. It was cool, the point of view. Um and obviously I guess not I guess. I mean, I understood the flashback, but to me the flashback was part of like the flashback was brought because they wanted us to I felt like they wanted us to understand how he got to the position he was in. You know what I mean? Of wanting to be a knight or whatever.
yeah,
And
mm,
that's where like you said, that that really sparked something when Sir Arlen just barged in drunk and killed the two guys that killed his friend, possibly his first love, because they were talking in a
Oh
conversation
yeah,
with Reef about like she was like, "Oh, what do you love me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think so."
yeah,
But whatever. But like, I think it was cool. I saw it as them basically tying how he got to the position he got and how he kind of explaining a little bit of his resilience, where he got it from,
mhm.
and it was like the old man and basically telling him to
Yeah.
get up all the time.
And honestly, like with the whole Dothraki thing, like Sir Arlen might be a nice, he might be nice with the combat. Like we only got to see a little preview right there, but if he was overseas, he might have, he might be skilled in a whole different, sword, whatever the thing that the Raki
The hook,
used, the
hook
yeah,
John.
little hook sword thing. Like so, Sir Arlen might be getting busy, like one on one. I
Yeah,
mean, even
that's true. Well, we look forward to a few days from now, this Sunday for the finale. We look forward to talking to you again. But that's a wrap for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. The episode. I hope you enjoyed our episode. I hope you continue to support and tell your friends about it. You know, and continue
like
to watch. We'll be here.
share, subscribe,
Yep.
comment,
Yep. Share
all
all
that
that.
good stuff.
All right. Well, that's it for us today.
My watch is ended.
There you go.
Peace.